The story unfolds in Colombia, centering around a man named Leo who has a habitual drinking problem. One day, after getting drunk, Leo arrives at a lavish mansion and is greeted by a nurse named Lucia. She introduces him to the homeowner, a wealthy and arrogant French woman named Muriel, who is bedridden and in search of a new nurse proficient in French. Muriel immediately informs Leo that the job is tough and unpleasant, then inquires about his experience in caring for the sick or children. Leo candidly admits he has no experience, but desperately needs the job. Muriel, despite her initial reservations, agrees to give him a chance. Leo's tendency to drink whenever possible doesn't go unnoticed. But Muriel, who still holds on to her dignity despite her severe physical limitations, continually calls upon him for various tasks. Muriel, unable to move her hands, uses a stick to read a book and relies heavily on Leo for daily needs. One evening, she instructs him to prepare dinner by 8 o'clock, a task he nervously attempts to fulfill. Lucia, who has witnessed many nurses come and go, is surprised Muriel hired a man, especially since she had dismissed about 40 female nurses before him. She believes a man shouldn't see a woman in Muriel's condition. But Leo can't afford to lose the job. Early one morning, Lucia wakes Leo to show him how to change Muriel's diapers and perform percussion therapy. Although Leo is reluctant to take on these tasks daily, he promises he can handle it alone the next day. However, the following morning, Muriel's shouts echo through the house because Leo oversleeps due to a hangover. Leo's responsibilities extend beyond basic care. He feeds Muriel, helps her brush her teeth, and assists with her washing up. After these morning routines, Muriel orders him to clean the house. She enjoys having the window open, savoring the fresh air while reflecting on everything she has lost. After lunch, Muriel asks Leo to bring her the phone and leave her alone. But when he returns with it, the number is incorrect. In the evening, Lucia inquires if Leo managed to do the percussion therapy on his own. She then shares Muriel's tragic story. 3 years ago, Muriel was traveling to France to visit her noble fiancé when she had an accident that left her paralyzed. Awakening from a coma to this reality, Muriel chose not to return to France, not wanting her loved ones to see her in this state. Her fiancé no longer communicates with her. Despite his efforts to drown his sorrows in alcohol, Leo can't escape his sadness. Lucia, noticing Leo's return, expresses her relief as most nurses usually flee after just a few days. Leo bluntly admits he's staying for the money. Lucia hands him a shopping list, and at the market, a woman tries to steal from him, but Leo catches her in the act. Back at the house, Leo hears laughter and singing. Muriel's physical therapist has arrived, trying to lift her spirits. Later, Leo sees Lucia giving herself an injection. She explains that it helps her cope. That evening, Muriel is displeased with the fish Leo prepared for dinner, fearing the small bones could pose a serious risk. Leo reassures her that he removed all the bones, and to his surprise, she decides to trust him. The fish is indeed bone-free. As Lucia continues to share more about Muriel's past, she reveals that Muriel was once a fiercely independent woman who never ventured outside now due to her fear of being seen in a wheelchair. Leo, curious about Lucia's background, learns she has a teacher's degree, but chooses not to delve into why she works as a nurse. After work, Leo returns to his shabby apartment, where he lives alone and continues to drink heavily. One day, after missing work due to another hangover, Leo tries to convince Muriel that he was sick. She immediately sees through his lie and warns that he will be fired if it happens again. Lucia hands Leo an envelope containing his first paycheck along with a headache pill, advising him to seek help for his drinking problem. However, Leo insists he can manage on his own. With his newfound earnings, Leo buys proper footwear and visits a boxing school to reminisce about his past as a European boxing champion. However, it's clear he has lost his form over the years. One day, Lucia opens up about her own dreams, revealing that 25 years ago, she aspired to be an artist and attended an art school in Paris. But her plans were derailed by marriage. Unlike Muriel, Leo does not read books, admitting that he never understands what he reads. Muriel found it hard to believe that Leo could actually read, so she asked him to read a book out loud. Leo complied with her request, but he didn't grasp much of what he was reading. Muriel then decided that Leo should read to her every day. Despite this new routine, Leo continued his training at the boxing school. One day, his coach announced that they were preparing for a fight in Cartagena, aiming to elevate their skills to the next level. According to an old friend, his student Miranda was poised to become the next champion, but their chances would improve significantly if Leo agreed to train her. This opportunity promised potential fame and fortune in the women's boxing niche. The other contender for victory was a woman named Lena, whom Leo immediately recognized as the same person who had tried to steal from him at the market. Leo offered her a sparring session and emerged victorious, feeling they were now even. Lucia later confided in Muriel that Leo had caught her doing something illicit. Muriel reassured her that there was no need to worry, as Leo didn't seem the type to talk much. Leo continued caring for Muriel, a task that had become easier for him over time. One day, Muriel inquired about his past, and Leo reluctantly revealed that he used to be an athlete. In the evenings, Leo smoked heavily, and the next day, he suggested they go for a walk. Muriel initially refused, concerned about Leo shaking hands from his hangover and the possibility that he might drop her. Leo insisted that everything would be fine, and eventually, Muriel agreed to the outing. They enjoyed a cocktail each, and Muriel felt a happiness she hadn't experienced in a long time. Leo had a surprise for Muriel during their walk. He asked her to close her eyes and brought small vials of aromatic oils to her nose, inviting her to guess the scents. Muriel delighted in the game and sincerely thanked Leo for the wonderful evening. Later, Leo met with a friend again and confirmed that he would train Lena, while his buddy would train Miranda. Leo also proposed a $5,000 bet, which the coach accepted. On the same day, Leo asked Miranda if she knew where Lena lived, as she hadn't been showing up at the gym. Miranda informed him that Lena didn't have a permanent home. Leo continued his daily reading sessions for Muriel, who now frequently asked him to take her for walks. These walks became the happiest moments of her life. While Muriel spent time with an acquaintance who sold books, Leo waited for her on a bench, keeping a watchful eye on her. Suddenly, he saw Lena with a man, and immediately understood that she was meeting him for financial reasons. As time passed, Leo and Muriel grew closer. Muriel asked Leo if he had a girlfriend, to which he replied that he did not. Later, Muriel asked Lucia about Leo's activities in his free time, and Lucia mentioned that she often saw Leo drunk. Today, Leo encountered Lena and asked why she had stopped attending training sessions. Lena explained that boxing would not provide her with the means to support herself. Leo tried to convince Lena to train under his guidance, promising her fame, fortune, and a chance to leave her wandering lifestyle behind. He also mentioned a bet he had with a coach. If they won, Lena would receive half the winnings. Eventually, Lena agreed to the training, motivated partly by her current lack of money for food. Meanwhile, Muriel, who had lost her appetite, couldn't stop thinking about Leo, unaware that he was enjoying himself with Lena at a bar. During a dance, Lena accidentally hit a blonde woman, causing them to flee. Later, while the woman went to the restroom, a group of men seeking revenge for the incident caught up with Leo. They attacked him, demanding to know where Lena was. Lena, armed with a gun, came to Leo's rescue. Despite this, Leo was left in bad shape and couldn't go to work the next day. In the morning, the doorbell at the mansion rang. Muriel, eagerly expecting Leo, was surprised to find Lucia Selena instead. Lucia informed Muriel that Leo couldn't come, introducing Lena as his neighbor. However, Lucia suspected there was more to the story. She lied to Muriel, claiming a guy asked her to deliver a message that Leo wouldn't be coming. Muriel feared Leo might never return, not realizing he simply lacked the courage to face her. Muriel spent the day trying to distract herself but couldn't shake off the sadness. Leo had brought meaning to her life, and now it felt like everything was falling apart. Meanwhile, Lena continued living with Leo, who still hadn't recovered from his injuries. Different nurses applied for jobs, but Muriel couldn't focus on anything but Leo. Eventually, Leo appeared, bruised and battered. Muriel was furious and didn't hide it. Leo promised it wouldn't happen again, but Muriel fired him on the spot. That evening, Leo planned to drown his sorrows in alcohol, but changed his mind giving the bottle to a homeless man instead. Lena asked if she could stay with him, and Leo didn't object. From then on, he began training her for an upcoming championship. Muriel, however, couldn't stop thinking about Leo. One evening, Lucia brought dinner to Muriel. Intoxicated and barely able to stand, she expressed her love for Muriel, refusing her request to try the substances because she genuinely cared for her. Lena directly asked Leo if he found her attractive as a woman. Leo honestly replied no, which led Lena to suggest they could get married and move to Europe. But it was clear Leo had different plans. He couldn't shake off his destructive habits. The next morning, Muriel woke up to find Leo beside her, much to her and Lucia's surprise. Leo was confused, not remembering how he ended up there. He pleaded with Muriel to take him back, promising to change and quit drinking. Muriel, tearfully confessing how much she missed him, reluctantly gave him one last chance. Lucia warned Leo that he would regret it if he ever hurt Muriel again. Leo began taking Muriel on walks, spending time in nature, and enjoying each other's company. These moments were precious to Muriel, as no one had ever done anything like this for her. Meanwhile, Leo continued training Lena, who showed significant progress. Muriel worried about Leo getting hurt in the ring, but he reassured her everything would be fine. Later, Leo informed Lucia he would be absent from work for 2 days due to training, and mentioned Lena, a promising young boxer. Muriel still didn't know Leo was training a woman, and Lucia was hesitant to tell her. Muriel asked a nurse to buy a gift for Leo, a sun-colored shirt, which he appreciated. The competition eventually took place, and as Leo watched, he reminisced about his youth. Lena won the match, and the coach owed Leo $5,000. However, Leo decided to give the money to Lena, feeling she deserved it. Borrowing a cool car from a friend, Leo took Muriel for a ride. She hadn't been this far from home in a long time, and these moments made her realize there was still good in life. Leo carried her along the seashore, making them feel as though they were the only two people in the world. They swam in the sea, experiencing a sense of absolute freedom. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to not miss more exciting new content. The authors would also appreciate it if you leave your opinions in the comments.